yo, and welcome to another edition of Moving Forward with Dave. Today we got a pretty serious one here. Two different topics I want to talk about. Number one is Mr. LeBron James and, what's going on with him and how I feel about it. And I also want to talk about the 12-year-old and 14-year-old shootout with the police, pretty much Grand Theft Auto style in Florida. So stick around. Now I'd like to start this off with Mr. LeBron James. Now, there's no question that this man is a superior athlete and an unquestioned great basketball player. Maybe not the greatest of all time, like some would call him, because I believe Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone are better. But that's just my opinion, and we're not going to talk about that right now. What we're going to talk about is how the NBA has a problem when their superstars get knocked out in the first round. And this is going to lead to where I'm going to go. The referees usually keep those superstars in because of the ratings, which are absolutely abysmal. Like the Home and Guard network is getting better ratings than the NBA playoffs. Think about that for a second. We're going to get there. This leads me to an article I read the other day, which kind of really, as a guy that loves sports, really kind of pissed me off. Because sports is the level playing field. Like, there's nothing outside that's stopping you from your opponent and winning. So sports is the best thing. So I read this article about how the NBA did LeBron James no favors by allowing him to be knocked out in the first round. I had a huge problem with that headline. Just listen to that. There's 12 other guys on the other team that thinks that they can win too. How does, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean did him no favors? This is sport. There is no favors. There is no favors to him. There's thousands and thousands of people that are rooting for the other team as well. So when they do that favoritism, then the NBA is infamous for it. It is so awfully terrible the way that they do it. It just really goes to spit in the face of sport. And it pisses me off. That's number one. Number two, this LeBron James can't even shake a player's hand when he gets off the court. Later on he did it. Whatever. He should have shook his hand, be a sportsman. Excuse is being put out there for why they got knocked out in the first round. Oh, no Anthony Davis. Oh my God, blah, blah. But you're telling me this is the super LeBron James. This guy can win it all by himself. I mean, this is it. It doesn't matter who else is playing out there. He doesn't have to be. Well, that's where we are with this. And all the excuses that are going to be coming out with it are absolutely ridiculous. You lost, you got bounced, you're done. Take a hike, work on your golf swing, get better, come back next year. Let's see what happens. Now we're going to go on to this, why we hold this guy up like this. Now, this guy is not a man of principle, as you would like to think he is. Now, this is a man that in this country, it costs you absolutely nothing to say what you want to say, to do what you want to do. I could do it right now. I'm doing it right now. Right here. Right now. I'm doing that. It costs you nothing in this country. Especially when you have the prowess of LeBron James. You want to speak out against, human travesties, human rights, all of the other things you're talking about, policing, and that's going to lead us to our next one. You want to talk about all of that, and you're so passionate, and you put out tweets and put targets on police officers' backs that didn't do anything but prevent, stuff. We all know about the police officer that prevented the other woman from stabbing the other woman, and he got dragged out into the mud by LeBron James. His picture put on his Twitter, pretty much asking people, like, this is enough, like, let's get this guy. Almost incited a man to get his ass kicked in a massive way because he just didn't understand. And got it wrong. And just got it wrong. But he gets away with that. We could walk away from that. Now here it is the problem where I say he's not a man of principles. Because like I said, in this country it costs you nothing. But when the NBA told you, you can't talk about China. You can't say anything about China. Shut up. Now there's money involved. So now your principles about human rights and everything you've been talking about, they come into question at that point right there when the money starts to get involved. And you just sit back and say, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to comment on that. I mean, at one point, I don't know if it still is, you can go on the NBA website and order a jersey. The back of the jersey, you can put anything you want on it. Right now, you can put "fuck the police" on it. I mean, that's your right if you want to do that. I wouldn't suggest doing it, but you can. But see if you can put "free Hong Kong." You can't. So don't ever talk to me again about your principles and who you are and what you stand for and what you do. When the money gets involved and the big boys tell you to shut up, that whole league shuts up about China and what they're doing to their own people. And that's for another topic. And we all know it. So if you can't walk the walk when it's hard and it costs you, then you shouldn't be walking the walk at all and nobody's going to listen to you. Right now you're just some ultra-rich athlete talking shit that doesn't even know what the hell he's fucking talking about. Really has no idea what he's talking about. Maybe go take a ride with a police officer. Maybe go into some dangerous areas with the police officers and see what they have to go through. Maybe you should stop pushing all of this ultra crazy wokeness throughout your whole league, and maybe we'll start watching basketball again. Here's a hint to every athlete out there that's doing this. We don't care. We watch sports to get away. We don't give a goddamn fuck. When you're playing the game, all we want to do is watch the goddamn game, man. It's the game, bro. We don't care about your Black Lives Matter shirts, your Jesus stuff. We don't care about whatever it is that you gotta pump up and do. We want to watch the goddamn game. We want to see the game. I want to see the action in the game. I want to see you versus him. Them versus you. Teamwork. What we're going to do together. How are we going to win this game? Strategy. I don't want to see all of this stupid ultra activism crazy all over the place. And it's all so phony. It is the absolute worst phony shit you'll ever see in your damn life. These people are so goddamn phony. It is unbelievable how phony these people are. They'll tell you with one thing, how to live your life. And you should do this, you should do this, while they're sitting and they're not. And then there's 70,000 square foot home. And you make decisions based on what these athletes and celebrities are saying. Oh my God, I got to listen to this guy because this guy's an athlete. That's great. Listen to him about what he plays in sports. Maybe hear his opinion. But don't be a blind sheep following these dummies. Because their life and their situation is very, very different than yours. You're not the same. You're not in the same playing field as them. If they saw you on the street, they'd walk right goddamn by you. Understand that. LeBron James, I implore you to be more responsible with what you're saying publicly. Like on your social media and stuff like that. Please, be more responsible with it. Your voice has so much weight. You got to do the right thing and be more responsible in what you're doing. And we'll be better for it all. You're one of the very few people on this planet that can actually start the healing. That's what we need. We need to start healing and stopping the separation and start the healing part. And people like you need to start helping out with that healing part and not adding to the separation. Get to this other topic about this 12-year-old and 14-year-old that had a shootout with the damn police in Florida. Let's open this one. Now I'm going to play you a clip from Sheriff Mike Chitwood, down there in Florida. Now I'm gonna give you a warning. The guy's very passionate, and it's actually pretty good. So let's take a listen.
I don't know what to say. Where have we gone wrong that 12-year-old and 14-year-old think it's okay to take on law enforcement? What the hell is the Department of Juvenile Justice doing, sending these kids to places that can't handle it? We talk about juvenile justice reform. Deputies did everything they could tonight to de-escalate, and they almost lost their lives to a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. If it wasn't for their training and their supervision, like I said earlier, I would have walked right into that house. Hey, two teenagers, two kids broke into a home. I'm going to go in and arrest them. Somebody would have ended up dead. But they took rounds, multiple rounds, before they were left with no other choice but to return fire. And again, a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. This is something I've never seen in 35 years of policing. And I'm sad to say, thank God my career's starting to come to an end, because I don't know what the future of law enforcement looks like in this country. They want to defund us. They want to sanction us and take qualified immunity away. They want to make us the bad guy. And yet you have 12 and 14-year-old thugs that want to shoot it out. And you haven't seen this crime scene yet. The deputies had nowhere to hide but trees. There was no cover other than their vehicles and a tree. And any of you that are listening to me know an AK-47 is going through an engine block, it's going through a car, and it's going through your bulletproof vest.
Now the sheriff pretty much got it correct here. Now these two children, 14 and 12, are being charged with attempted murder. Attempted murder. 14 and 12. We have officially reached rock bottom. The absolute bottom, and now we're just digging and digging. This anti-police movement is really starting to affect everything. I understand that some of these cops out there, and there's a few of them out there, more than a few, that are dirty as hell, and they need to be taken out by the good ones. They do. We need this. I'm not saying all cops. I'm not even going down that road because that's bullshit. And anybody that protects all cops, that's bullshit too. You're just following a political party that's telling you what to say. That's that. But I'm talking about the good ones, man. There's a lot of good ones out there that do the right thing. And this anti-police movement that's just been out of control in every city that's had it, it's just been worse and worse and worse. And like, this is crazy. This is what we're teaching these kids. That it's okay to come out here, start shooting at the cops. These cops didn't want to shoot this girl. She's in critical condition from what I am reading. This is America. This is it. This is where we are now. We're doing so much better. It's absolute crock of shit. We're dying out here. Our souls are being crushed. Our freedom is being crushed. And our children are being poisoned by the stupid ridiculousness. And we all know what the ridiculousness is and where it comes from. But we're going to leave that for another topic. But when you got 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds shooting it out with the cops, you got fucking problems, man. You got bigger, deeper problems than you could possibly imagine. Well, I know the content today was a little serious, and we have to talk about these serious things. We can't just duck them. We have to take them head on, and we have to talk about them. Some of them are painful, some of them are tough to talk about. But there has to be people that are willing to actually open the dialogue, or else we'd never get there. So once again, thank you for tuning in to Moving Forward with Dave. Thank you guys so much for the support and everything that you guys have been giving me. And remember, only in the truth can we move forward.